Hey yo, what's going on YouTube? Pokemaster here, and today I'm gonna be doing my draft analysis over my draft in the EBT, the D League. The EBT is in season 5 right now, and is one of the bigger leagues that I've seen. Since I'm just joining, I'm in the D League with a bunch of other good players. And I had the 9th out of, I think, 16 picks. So it was not a good drafting spot, but I ended up getting a really great team that I love. So my first pick was a Garchomp. Great HP stat with 102, I think, or 108. And then a pretty good 130 base attack and a 102 speed. So you can outspeed all of those 100 base speed Pokemon. It's also it's a good Scarfer, maybe even a Choice Band once. It's a good setup sweeper with Swords Dance. It has one of the best offensive type coverage with Dragon and Ground. So it gives me an electric immunity. And you usually want a good Dragon type on every team. And my next pick was Mega Scizor. Another great offensive typing and defensive typing with Bug and Steel. With its only weakness being 4 times to Steel. Not Steel, I mean Fire. And it gets priority with Bullet Punch. And it gets moves like Bullet Punch, Knock Off, U-turn, and with its Technician ability, you can even use Bug Bite. And it has a base 150 attack, so it doesn't really need to be invested in, so you can run more HP investment. It gets U-turn, so I can use it for pivoting. You can even set up with it with Swords Dance. So far, I have 2 out of 3 typings for my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. So next, I had to get Sylveon in Tier 2. It's an amazing Fairy type with Pixelate. So you can run Hyper Voice and get its base power raised by 20% with Pixelate. And turns it into a Fairy type move, so you get an extra 50% power. And with all that, you don't really even need to invest into its special attack. And this one's a good Wish Passer. This league does allow Baton Pass, but you cannot pass more than 1 stat at a time. So you can run like Wish, Hyper Voice, Heal Bell, and Baton Pass. And that's all you need. Because even Sylveon doesn't need many coverage moves. Even if it moves super effective, Hyper Voice usually does more. With a base 110 special attack, 130 special defense, and 60 speed, and 65 defense, and 90 HP, you really don't need to invest much into the special defense. You can just invest into the HP and defense, and it'll do amazing. And next I picked And the next one I draft was a Downlines. A great typing with Ghost and Grass, and with its Steel Worker ability, it basically gives it the Steel typing without giving it any of the weaknesses. This Pokemon usually uses the same moves every week, like Power Whip, Shadow Claw. You usually switch between Anchor Shot and Heavy Slam, and then Rapid Spin. But this Pokemon is one of the best Rapid Spinners, and it is a Ghost type, so it blocks Rapid Spin. So I could set up Stealth Rocks, and my opponent might not be able to spin them away. This Pokemon usually will run Assault Vest, maybe even Choice Band. It's pretty predictable, but it's good at what it does. The next one I drafted was Jolteon, another Tier 3. Jolteon has an amazing base 130 speed, 110 in special attack, but it can't take very many hits. And it usually will just Volt Switch around and has like a Life Orb or Choice Specs. It usually carries like Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. That's really about it. But it's an amazing electric type for a Tier 3 with a base 130 speed. And I needed a fast electric types are one of the biggest things in Pokemon draft leagues. And the next thing I picked was Suicune. I was going to get Melodic and Vaporeon, but those had taken a few before me. So I ended up getting Suicune, which might have been good for me. It's a bulky water, can take a lot of hits, and they can even run like Calm Mind, Roar for the setup sweepers, Scald for the 30% chance to burn. And there's a good set with Resto Chesto or Rest Sleep Talk. This is one of the better bulky waters, and I'm glad I got Sniped so I could pick it up. Next thing I picked was originally Snorlax, but I was going to get Porygon 2, but I didn't realize that was already taken, so Snorlax didn't make much sense. So I dropped it and picked up Swallow. This Pokemon got a buff in Sun and Moon with either added 10 or 20 points to its special attack. So usually run Choice Specs Swallow with Boom Burst, and it can just break down walls like crazy. It's a really amazing Pokemon for a Tier 3 with base 125 speed. So it outspeeds most Pokemon, and then with a Choice Specs Boom Burst, it can just take down walls and be a great special wall breaker. The next one I picked was Chansey. Now this was what I was going to take Porygon 2, but then when I realized it already got taken, I decided to go with Chansey for a bulky normal type that gives me a good Stealth Rocker, another Heal Bell user, so I'm trying to really avoid those statuses, and it probably is the best special wall in the game. With a 250 base HP, 105 special defense, and only 5 defense. But with Eviolite and the great 220 base HP, it can take any hit in the game. It can even take a Z-move Freeze Shock from a Cure in Black and live if it's not a crit. And this Pokemon is also a Wish Passer. It can use Wish, and it will always heal up your Pokemon almost all the way up. So the next Pokemon I picked was Delphox as a Tier 4. I was really surprised to see Delphox still there. Delphox is an amazing Tier 4 in my opinion. 104 base speed, a little above or around 120 base special attack. Can't take very many hits, but if you get knocked off, its hidden ability, Magician, lets you steal the opposing Pokemon, and if your item gets knocked off, you can have Magician as your hidden ability, and it will take the opponent's Pokemon's item. And it has great stab with Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Side Shock, and Side Kick, and great coverage with like Solar Beam and Foul Play even. This Pokemon, when it first came out, I didn't really like it because of its design. But now that I've seen it used more commonly, I really started to like it. So the next Pokemon I picked was a Vikavolt. Vikavolt had great value for me as a tier 5 after seeing it win the MPA Season 3 with a drive. It can use agility and outspeed a lot of the opponent's team with a base 145 special attack. Great choice specs user with Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz, Air Slash, Flash Cannon, Energy Ball. It'll usually be using those 4 moves or maybe even agility. But this Pokemon just had great potential for me as a tier 5. So the next Pokemon I picked was Cradily as my last pick. Cradily is a rock and grass type that can be really specially defensive. Has Stealth Rocks, I think. And has Storm Drain as an ability, so it gives me a water immunity.